to my YouTube channel Medifirst Academy, where I discuss the medical topics in briefly. If you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe and like the channel. Today we're gonna discuss about how to analyze and interpret your blood gases. Without wasting much time, let's move into the today topics and discuss about it. Blood gas analysis is very useful blood test when you deal with the critical ill patient, especially in your ETU or HDU and ICU setup. Before interpret the ABG, there are few parameters in ABG you should know its normal value, then only you can easily interpret. The first one is pH. pH we consider 7.35 into 7.45, it's a normal. Then partial pressure of carbon dioxide we consider 35 to 45 is a normal. Partial pressure of oxygen we consider 75 to 100 is normal. Bicarbonate is 20 to 20 milliequivalent per liter we consider as normal. Even though your pH 7.35 into 7.45 we consider as normal, ideal body pH is 7.4. It's mean our body always like to keep the pH near about 7.4. That's why we call ideal one in the body pH is 7.4. Why I'm specifically mention this one here you can see if it is ideal pH in our body 7.4, 7.35 into 7.4, this is a normal value of pH, but we call in between 7.35 7.4 acidotic side normal value pH. If your ABG pH is belong to 7.4 into 7.45, still that considered as normal pH, but that pH is belong to the alkaloid side normal pH. This is a very important principle. You have to keep it in mind. You will realize why I am saying like this when we go and solve our example in the later of the video. When we going to interpret our ABG, you have to follow three basic steps, then you will be easy to interpret and analyze your ABG. First of all, when you get the result of ABG, you have to see your pH and decide on whether this is acidosis or base. The second step is you have to determine whether this is metabolic or respiratory. Third step is you have to give a comment on whether this is compensated, partial compensated or uncompensated ABG. We'll go one by one, then you will be understand how you're going to interpret the ABG. First of all, how you going to say this is acid, this is base. If you it's depend on your pH. If the pH is less than its lower normal, it's less than 7.35, we consider it as a acidosis pH. If your base, if you are saying it's a base, you should have your pH more than its upper limit. It means more than 7.45. Then you have almost came conclusion whether now you are dealing with the acidosis or alkalosis just by looking your pH. Then next step is you have, suppose now you are dealing with the acidemia. It means your pH is less than 7.35. Then next step of your interpretation is you have to find what is the primary cause behind this acidemia. How are you going to determine that? You have to know if the acidosis is there, it could be either respiratory acidosis or it could be either metabolic acidemia. How are you going to determine whether this is respiratory or metabolic? Just by you looking your partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the bicarbonate level. In the respiratory acidosis, you will see you can see your partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the higher side. That's why I have mentioned in here. You know our body, it has a very beautiful compensatory mechanism. Body just want to keep your pH in normal level. Due to some disease, you are accumulating more carbon dioxide and bring your pH below the acidotic side. Then our body just try to compensate it by accumulating more bicarbonate. That's why your bicarbonate in ABG also going to be high that I have mentioned in here. Then how you going to differentiate metabolic acidosis? Metabolic acidosis is usually happening, you excrete more bicarbonate. Then your bicarbonate loss will be high. Then what will happen? It will cause your pH in acidotic level. Then according to our compensatory mechanism, our respiratory system try to hyperventilate the patient and remove the carbon dioxide to keep the pH in the normal range. That's why in the metabolic acidosis, you will get the bicarbonate in low, as well as your carbon dioxide in the blood is partial pressure of carbon dioxide also in low, right? Same as alkalemia also, you can say alkalemia if the pH is more than 7.5. Then you have to once again go and find what is the primary cause behind this alkalemia. It could be respiratory alkalemia, as well as it could be metabolic alkalemia. How are you going to differentiate with respiratory alkalemia over the metabolic alkalemia? You have to go and see the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and bicarbonate level also. If your partial pressure of carbon dioxide going to be low, it's your pH will be pushed toward your alkalemia side. Then we call it that is a respiratory cause of alkalemia. According to our compensatory mechanism, body just want to keep your pH in the normal range. Due to that reason, body try to eliminate more bicarbonate and keep the pH in the normal level. That's why in respiratory alkalemia, you will get the low partial pressure of carbon dioxide as well as a low bicarbonate. In the metabolic alkalosis, it will happen vice versa. It's mean metabolic alkalosis, you are accumulating more bicarbonate, then your pH will push into the as an alkalosis side. Then your respiratory system try to compensate it and bring back your pH into normal level just by accumulating the more carbon dioxide. That's why actually I have mentioned in this slide how this compensatory mechanism cause the alkalemia and acidemia and try to compensate your pH in your body. This is a very important principle I have discussed with you. If you know this basic, then you can solve any kind of blood gases analysis without any problem. We'll move on to some example. I have going to discuss 7 example in here. Then you will be able to understand the principle behind this analysis and how it's easy to analyze if you go according to our steps. First example is a pH 7.25, PCO2 48 and bicarbonate is a 23. You know, I have mentioned right upper corner the normal values of the upper 3 parameters also. Then you can easily tally all the values. Then you can use the for the further evaluation. Then you have to take the piece of paper when you get the ABG to your hand. Before interpret from your mind, you have to take the piece of paper and pen and try to draw the chart like this. Then put that one column acidosis, second column is normal, and third column is we call it alkalosis, right? Acidosis column, normal column, and alkalosis column. According to that, we are going to put this value to these columns. How you going to do it? You have to understand the pH in this patient is 7.25. It's mean you know your normal pH value is 7.35 to 7.45. If it is less than 7.35, we call this is definitely what is acidemia, right? Due to that reason, we can put the pH into the acidosis column like I did. Then what happened for the PCO2? PCO2 is a 48. It also higher than its upper limit. Usually our PCO2 is 35 to 45. Then once the carbon dioxide is going to accumulate in your body, it tries to what? It tries to bring the pH below its normal level and keep as a consequences of that accumulation of carbon dioxide, your pH will become the acidosis side. That's why actually you can tell partial pressure of carbon dioxide also belongs to the acidosis side here. Then we'll go for the bicarbonate. What happened for bicarbonate? Bicarbonate 23. you know our normal value of bicarbonate is 22 to 26. It means bicarbonate is in the normal range. Then you have to put that bicarbonate into the normal range. Now you almost got your diagnosis. You can say your pH, since your pH is acidosis, definitely this is a acidosis is there. Then you have to tell what kind of acidosis, respiratory acidosis, so metabolic acidosis. Out of bicarbonate and partial pressure of carbon dioxide, which one is belong to the acidotic column? That one is PCO2 is belong to the acidotic column. It's mean you can simply say in here, this patient has a respiratory acidosis. That's why we have a respiratory acidosis, because the pH in acidic level, your partial pressure of carbon dioxide also in the acidotic level. Then you have to comment on the whether this is compensated, partially compensated or uncompensated. How you going to determine that one? You have to once again go back and see your pH, and your bicarbonate is very important to decide answer for that question. Even this is still pH is 7.25, then this is not actually in the normal range. Then you can't say this is a compensated. Definitely this patient's ABG, it can be partially compensated or uncompensated, right? Why I am telling this is not fully compensated? Because the pH is still in the acidotic side, right? Then you have to differentiate out of partially compensated and the uncompensated just by looking your bicarbonate level. Here bicarbonate is 23. It means bicarbonate belong to the normal column. It can't be happen like that. As I mentioned in your previously, basis of our body, our physiology of our body, if your bicarbonate, carbon dioxide is going to accumulate to your body try to accumulate more bicarbonate and keep the pH in the normal range. It means body try to accumulate more bicarbonate. Then your bicarbonate level should be higher than its upper limit, right? Then if it is happen like that, then you can tell this is definitely body try to compensate the situation. Then this is not fully compensated because pH is still in the acidotic side. Then it is a partially compensated if it is bicarbonate is higher in the normal side. But in this example, your bicarbonate is in the normal range. It means body doesn't want to do anything to compensate this acidemia. That's why actually we call this is uncompensated respiratory acidosis, right? We'll go for another example. Don't worry about this, because when we solve all 7 examples, you will be able to understand the principle behind this, and without any doubt you can interpret the ABG after that. We'll go for the second example in here. Our second example, our pH is 7.31. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 50. Bicarbonate is 28. Now we are going to put these values according to our columns, whether it is acidosis, normal or alkalosis. Your pH is 7.31, means definitely less than 7.35. It means definitely this one is acidemia, right? Then you can put this pH into the acidosis column. What happens for your partial pressure of carbon dioxide in here? Your partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 50. Our normal value of partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 35 to 45. It means it is higher than its upper limit. It means when your carbon dioxide is more than your upper limit, more carbon dioxide accumulation, it causes what? Alkalemia or acidemia. It causes acidemia. That's why your partial pressure of carbon dioxide also you can put into the acidosis column. When what happened for bicarbonate in here? You know our normal bicarbonate is 22 to 26, but here 28. It means it's also higher than its upper limit. When the bicarbonate is accumulating more than its upper limit, it causes what? It causes acidemia or alkalemia. It causes alkalemia. That's why your bicarbonate is going into the alkalemia column. Now you can put your diagnosis. Your pH in this acidosis side, definitely this is acidosis. Which kind of acidosis? With the respiratory acidosis, so metabolic acidosis, you have to go and think out of partial pressure of carbon dioxide or bicarbonate, which one is belong to the acidosis column. it belongs to the PCO2 is belong to acidosis column. Then definitely we can say this is a respiratory origin of acidosis is there. Now you have to comment on the what about this compensation, whether it's partial compensation, fully compensation, or uncompensated. As I told you, this is not a fully compensated because of your pH still not in your normal limit. It's still in the acidosis level. Then definitely fully compensated answer you can exclude. Now you are stick with the partial compensated to uncompensated. How you going to determine that one? You have to go and see your bicarbonate in the not in normal range, it is almost accumulating, it is in above the upper limit. Then what, try to accumulate more bicarbonate and try to compensate the respiratory origin of acidemia, right? It's mean this we can simply tell this is a partial compensated respiratory acidosis. Okay, we'll move on third example. Here your pH is 7.45. It means your normal value of pH is 7.35, 7.45. Here pH 7.43. It means this is the normal value pH. You can put this pH into the normal value column, right? Now what about your PCO2 in here? PCO2 33. You know normal value of PCO2 is a 35 to 45. It means less than its normal value. When your carbon dioxide going to be lower than its lower limit, whether it causes acidemia or alkalemia, less carbon dioxide causes alkalemia. That's why your PCO2 is belong to the alkalosis column. Now you are dealing with the bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is 22, 20 is normal, and here is 18. Then your bicarbonate is in the lower side. It means when your bicarbonate in the lower side, it causes alkalemia, acidemia. It causes acidemia, right? That's why your bicarbonate belongs to the acidosis column. Now you have to interpret what is this underlying pathology. Since your pH is normal, you can say one thing. You can say this is a definitely fully compensated ABG. Now you have to deal with whether this is where is the problem, where it's originated from respiratory or metabolic. Then for that one you have to stick with the very first principle I have to teach you in the beginning of the video. That's one, our body normal pH. Our body try to keep our pH in between 7.4. That is our ideal pH. We even though 7.4 is our ideal pH, 7.35 to 7.4 we consider this one also normal, but that one is in the acidosis side normal pH. If your pH is belongs to 7.4 to 7.45, we consider this one also normal pH, but that pH is belong to the alkalosis size normal pH, right? Then this one, what happened? pH is 7.43. It means your pH value is coming to this part 7.43. It's been which side? This is alkalosis side normal pH. It means you have to, now you know your pH is normal, even though we say it's normal, it is belongs to the alkalosis side normal pH. Then you have to think, out of your bicarbonate and PCO2, which one is belongs to the alkalosis column? It means PCO2 is belong to the alkalosis column, right? Then you can simply say in here, this is fully compensated, there is no doubt, because of pH in the normal range, but this is respiratory alkalosis fully compensated. Why I am saying like that? Your pH is belong to the alkalosis side normal pH. Then out of bicarbonate and out of PCO2, your PCO2 is belong to the alkalosis side. Then we can simply say this is respiratory alkalosis fully compensated. We'll go for another example. Here, fourth example, your pH is 7.9. 7.38. Your carbon dioxide is 34. Your bicarbonate is 16. Then we are going to put these values according to our chart. Since the pH 7.38, it is belongs to the normal. It is belong to the normal pH. Then you have to put the pH into the normal column. Then what happened for PCO2 here? PCO2 is 34. It means usual normal pH PCO2 is 35 to 45. Here less than 35 means that is definitely you are losing more carbon dioxide. It shift the pH into the alkaloid side. That's why your PCO2 is belongs to the alkalosis column. Then bicarbonate, what type of bicarbonate? 16 means bicarbonate is, then what will happen? When you are extracting a pH try to what? Come down to the acidosis side. Then your bicarbonate in belongs to the acidosis column. Now here also you can't take the directly your diagnosis. You have to work it with that, and you have to exclude others pathologies and come into the conclusion. Since your pH is in the normal range, this is definitely which kind of compensation is a fully compensated ABG. Then you have to find what is the primary cause behind this problem issue, whether this is metabolic or whether it is respiratory. For answering for that, once again you have to remember, I told you our body ideal pH is 7.4. Even though we say 7.4 is ideal, 7.35 into 7.4 we call acidosis side normal pH. If your pH is 7.4 to 7.45, we call this alkalosis side normal pH. Now your pH is belong to 7.38, mean your pH is belong to this side. It means acidosis side pH. Acidosis side normal pH. Then you have to think from here which one from bicarbonate to PCO2 belongs to the acidosis column. It means your bicarbonate belong to the acidosis column. You can say this is metabolic acidosis fully compensated. Right. We'll go for another example quickly here. This one also pH 7.28, PCO2 33 and bicarbonate 16. Now we are going to put these values according to our columns. If since our pH is 7.38, it belongs to what? This belongs to no acidosis column. Then your PCO2 33 means it also less than its lower limit 35. Then when you are losing more carbon dioxide, it causes the alkalosis. That's why your PCO2s belong to your alkalosis column. Then what type for your bicarbonate in here? Bicarbonate 16. It means it also lower than its lower limit. Then when you are excreting more bicarbonate, it cause the acidemia. That's why your bicarbonate belongs to acidosis column. Now you have your diagnosis easily you can put in here, because since your pH is acidosis, bicarbonate also in your acidosis column, this is definitely metabolic origin acidosis. Metabolic origin acidosis. Whether this is partial compensated, full compensated or the uncompensated, definitely that is a partial compensated. While your pH is still in the acidosis range, but we'll try to compensate it by removing the hyperventilating the patient and removing the carbon dioxide. Right? That's why actually we can say this is a metabolic acidosis partially compensated. We'll go for another example. Here pH is 7.5. Your carbon dioxide is 28. Your bicarbonate is 16. According to our columns, we are going to put those values. Since your pH is more than 7.45, we can say the pH is in now alkalosis range. Then you have to put the pH into the alkalosis column. Then your whatever partial carbon dioxide 28. It means it's lower than its lower limit. Hybrid overexpression of hyperventilation of the body and reducing the more carbon dioxide from here. Then when your carbon dioxide is more removing more, then it causes for the alkalosis, right? That's why your PCO2 also belongs to the alkalosis column. Then what type of bicarbonate in here? Bicarbonate 16. It means it's also lower than its lower limit. When you are excreting more bicarbonate, cause the acidosis, right? That's why we have put in the bicarbonate into the acidosis level. Now you have to stick with your principles and get your diagnosis. since your pH is in the alkalosis as well as your carbon dioxide also in the alkalosis, this is a respiratory alkalosis partially compensated. How you going to say partially compensated? Still your pH is not in the normal range. It is more than 7.45. It means that's alkalosis, but would try to compensate it by just removing more bicarbonate and try to bring the pH into the normal range. That's why we can say this is a partially compensated respiratory alkalosis. We'll go for another example in here. Last example is this patient pH is 7.43. Your PCO2 is 33. Your bicarbonate is 18. According to our values, we are going to add those values in our columns. Since your pH is 7.43, it is normal. That's why I have put in the normal column. Then PCO2 what happens is 33. It also lower than its lower limit. Then when your PCO2 is lower than lower limit, causes the alkalosis. That's why we put the PCO2 into the alkalosis column. Then what happens with bicarbonate? It also lower than its lower limit. When your bicarbonate is lower than lower limit, it causes what? It causes acidosis. Then this one also you can't put the diagnosis, right? Because all three parameters in the three columns, separately 3 columns. Then you have to work out and get the diagnosis. How are you going to work out this one? You have to see this is since pH is normal, this is definitely fully compensated one. Then you have to think your pH in which side, whether acidosis side normal pH or alkalosis side normal pH or ideal pH. This is 7.43 means it's belong to this area. In this alkalosis side normal pH. Since this alkalosis side normal pH, right? You have to find out of bicarbonate and out of PCO2 which one is belong to the alkalosis side. It's mean carbon dioxide, PCO2 is belong to alkalosis side. Then since pH also in the alkalosis side normal pH, same as your carbon dioxide also in the alkalosis side, you can say this is a respiratory origin alkalosis, right? What is this? This is a fully compensated, partially compensated, uncompensated. This is a fully compensated since because of your pH in the normal range. That's how you can solve those ABG interpretation in here. Today onward, when you get the critical ill patient, when you do your ABG, don't go and give the interpretation. You take the small time and a piece of paper and pen. You put the charts according to the I have shown you. Three separate columns. Then try to utilize and you put these parameters according to our columns. Then you will be automatically driven into your diagnosis. Rather than if you work out with in your mind, you might miss some important facts. That's why. But if you stick with this system, then you won't be make any mistake. Hope you guys enjoy the video and clear your gray areas in the blood gas analysis interpretation. If you really like the content of video, please subscribe my YouTube channel and hit the like button. Then you will be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching my video. Keep in touch until the next time.